Here we go, y'all. JJ here, Retro ReWire at Tokyo Station, having some savory sushi. Highly recommended this place. And I was heading out to Akihabara, so I had to have something of this caliber so I don't get too crazy with the spending. Not that I would anyways, but even the wasabi, you could have that straight and it ain't going to burn you at all. It's 100% natural. But back to Akihabara, Lashinbang. And this is going to be a two-part episode. And we're going to be hitting up, I hit up quite a few shops, but I'm back here because, I just wanted to see what's going on with the PC Engine. Currently working on that collection. But we're going to be browsing some stuff. Here we have Super EDF 2280. That one can be a little bit over 10,000 nowadays, complete in the box. We have some Jerry Boy. That's kind of a funky name. But we're going to see all sorts of games. From Super Famicom, mostly PC Engine, Sega Saturn, not very many PlayStation games, if at all, but even some Super Famicom games, and just all sorts of stuff. Even some adult-rated games. So just be ready for that. Not that I'm actually shopping for it, but sometimes it's in the showcase, and I'll just show it, whatever. But this is my single pickup. Was a Psycho Chaser here for 4,480. And I saw multiple copies of this, and this was definitely one of the better deals. It's not in the best condition, but, I definitely want to play it. And they still have the Fighter's History Dynamite, 5,500 yen. Every time I come here, I'm going to be looking for that one until it finally sells. But we have Return Fire here, 3,980. And a few of these titles are ones that, were in my... I was here like a week and a half ago. And this is like, look at this title for the 3DO. That's kind of a funky one. FMV with like looks like some first person shooter type of stuff. But this stuff, a lot of these shops, they can sit on it, whatever. 26,800 yen for a Nintendo Switch. 24,800 for this one here. And I believe both of those were like the OLED models. And then I don't know what the heck this is, but it's the complete edition to something. And sometimes this is a great way to just kind of like spend a relaxing afternoon. This was actually on Monday of this week. And yeah, like visual novels. A lot of the Lashinbangs, at least the one out in Sapporo and another city I forget, but they were just loaded with like the visual novels. So this is a great place to come if that's like your thing. And I'm sure there's other shops that that are going to be comparable. We got some PlayStation 5 titles. What do we have here? Gunvolt Recording Chronicle, Side Chronicle. For the PlayStation 5, we got the Ballast 3 collection. I think this one is maybe exclusive to the Switch. I'm not really sure. But having a great time playing through the Ballast games. But yeah, Psycho Chaser. Anyhow, we'll keep it moving here. And then we have Rainbow Mika. Look at this, 13,800 yen, and there's two of them. Two little statues of our Mika there from the Street Fighter Alpha series. And then we have Gwendolyn from Odin Sphere. I remember playing this one way back on the PlayStation 2. It had some slowdown, but man, I was really loving that game. Although my brother found like the voice acting kind of cringe, but at the time I was really into it. Whatever, we have Adventure Island there for 10,000. And then what is this, the Shubibi Man, something like that for the PC Engine. There's 1, 2, and 3, possibly another one. Not really familiar with that series, but it looks pretty good. Here we got a slime. I think that might be an actual mouse. And then a little dispenser of sorts. This is the Ichiban Kuji prize. And look at the Link figure here. It's unopened, 7,780. The Master Higgins on the Joy card there. And then just some old school LCD handheld Game & Watch style thingy-majigs. A lot of them seem to be from Bandai. Maybe they were competing with Nintendo at the time, obviously. Got some Neo Geo pockets. Nothing has really changed here in the showcase. But, they still have the Game Gear, still have the Neo Geo, 118,000. That one's going to be there for a bit, but most likely it'll sell. And we got some Wonder Swan. And then we have this game, which I recently saw at the Kazo Hard-Off. And they had it for 4,000. 4,000 yen. It did. Now, the one at the Kazo Hard-Off didn't have the manual, but that's still quite a huge difference. 4,000 and 21,000. Let's see, what else do we have here? More Famicom stuff. We got Ikari Warriors there for 11,800 yen. We got a Rockman for 158,000. Now this is the real deal here. 250 GTO Ferrari. My goodness. That's probably the best thing out of the showcase, this little car model. And the reason I'm showing that, guys, is I'm back on the Outrun, playing Outrun 2. And that's one of my cars of choice. One of my top picks, that 250 GTO. That's as close as I'm going to get to actually driving one. But there's the old white Game Gear with the case and everything, 99,000. And then Tetra Star, 10,800 yen. I wonder how that one is. It is by Taito. And we got some Kid Dracula there. And look at this game. Looks like a Santa Claus dude, but it can't be. We got a Sega Saturn a Retrobit Bluetooth controller. And then the Super Scope. How much is this bad boy? 5,980. And 71,000. But this is for the PS5 digital edition. That one seems a little bit high. But the AV Famicom, 15,800 yen. That's actually not too bad. We got a Persona 5 bundle. Not a limited edition, just a bundle there for 25,000 it looks like. And then 6,980 for the PS3. It is classified as junk. The 360, 10,800. And then next to that, we got a PS3 Fat Metal Gear Solid 4 Tactical Espionage Action. The premium package. 27,800 yen. And yeah, now this is a certified bad boy, and that thing seems to be working. And then we have, like, what is this? Monster Hunter 3DS LL. 24,000. Now this game, like the Snow Princess Whirlwind Sayuki something, it's also on the Switch. And the Switch version is 3,000. It's also on the Wii, but the Wii one is also very expensive. Not as expensive as that PS2 version, but if you're interested, look it up on the Switch. What else do we have here? Sayuri from something. Venus Vacation. 11,800 yen for the 3DS there. We got a little leather pouch for a Monster Hunter branding, possibly for the 3DS as well. We got a Switch Lite back there. A bit hard to see the price due to the lighting being overly strong. And then we have Shiren the Wanderer, 8880. Then we have Blanca there. Kind of an interesting little coaster. We got a VMU 2,980, and it could be unopened, brand new. And then they had this Imagineer controller. I remember seeing this thing in the pages of EGM, or at least one that's very similar to it. And back then, as a kid, you know, like looking at all those buttons, the colors, the LCD screen, you know, that's definitely a little impressive controller. But here we have some more action figures. Chun-Li from Street Fighter, obviously, and then look at this figure, Metal Gear Revengeance. I don't know if they got Jack's face right. I don't know. It seems a little bit off to me, but still pretty cool looking. 18,800 yen. But I don't know. His face is not really convincing there. But I imagine those things are very difficult to get right. Here we have some Dragon Quest Monster, Aerith, and old Cloud. How much is the Cloud? 14,800 yen, and those were unopened. But let's head to everybody's favorite store, Super Potato. We're going to go down the hallway here, and I'm going to go directly up to the arcade floor. And this is the pickup Psycho Chaser. Let's take a quick peek inside. Now, it's, you know, it has a little sponge. It has the little card protector. The manual is intact. And yeah, you know, I was actually playing this one in the last 2 days, and it's actually pretty fun, pretty good music. And it's one that, you know, I'll definitely beat it within the next few days. It's not overtly challenging. And look, it even has like a little postcard. But really happy with this pickup. And this is one that I hardly ever see like out in the country or in the more smaller cities. But I love this poster of Twinbee. But anyhow, let's focus and take a look at some more PC Engine titles. But before that, look at this little light gun thing. Now that thing looks old school. But we're going to go right to the showcase. Right to the most expensive stuff. And just all sorts of like premium, you know, the Kiki Kai Kai there for 20,000. I think they had 2 copies there. And then they have like a PC Genjin there, Bonk whatever for 25,000. But is that like the Air Zonk version? I hope it is, because if it's just regular old Bonk, that's definitely a little crazy. Then they had Mad Stalker there for 32,000, and Mad Stalker is also available for the PlayStation 1. And then they had the PC Engine LT. Now this one has been here for quite some time. 272,800 yen. We got a Core Graphics for 25,000, but you could definitely find a Core Graphics loose for 6,000. And then the Super Mario Bros. Look at this little thing. I don't know if they've had, I can't remember seeing that one during my last few visits, but it's been a while since I've been to Super Potato. I do like coming in here every now and then. We got the Pocket Pikachu, 27,280. And then we got the little Puzzle Bobble dudes just kind of chilling there with the CDX kind of obscuring them. And then we got the Zelda Game & Watch, which I do like that cover. 250,000. But again, just window shopping, so whatever. Not really fazed by these prices. What else do we have? Baikin Kun. Just a whole bunch of these crazy, like the panorama screen. Those are also Nintendo, Popeye, and old Donkey Kong. And then we have Discoon there. That was like over 300,000. But let's see now this here, 2728. Even the junk is a little bit overpriced. Let's just keep making our way. We got some PlayStation Vita, but again, nothing looks particularly interesting. I believe this is a fighting game on the Vita. Let's check out some PC Engine. That was the main reason to come out here. In old Akihabara, we got Ninja Spirit, 20,000. Now I do have this. And if you're interested in this title, it is a part of the Hamster Arcade Archives, available on the Switch, PS4. Then there's that one series with the duo Kiki Kai Kai again. And then we got Hell's Tour, 12,650. Now this was at the Book Off out in Ota, and it was 4,000 yen there, but it was severely sun faded. And then we got Paranoia, which I believe in the West, what was this called? Psychosis, 5,918. I do have a copy of that I picked up recently. Definitely a funky one. And then we got some something 11, a footy game. And I have no idea what the heck this is, but I do like that cover. Very gnarly cover. And then we got TV Sports, 1,500, and then Darius Plus, which this one has super graphics enhancements. One of the few or only titles that does have that. And then we have, what do we have here? Just pull something out. Let's see. We got Garo Special, 7,678. Now that one is sealed. And then we have Golden Axe, 4,378. I have a copy of this, and the cutscenes are cool. The music is pretty cool, but everything else is, oh man, it's really rough around the edges. And then we have Terraforming. This is a shooter, 17,380. And it looks really like, it looks pretty cool. I don't know. I haven't actually played it, but visually it looks like it's a stunner. 9,680 for this game here. I've seen this one many times. It's a Hudson Soft game. And then we have Choaniki, 9,548. I paid about, what, 5,000 for my copy? Out in Tatebayashi at the Book Off. And then they have a lot of these games. Again, this is probably more for like more mature audiences, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but here's another one, 5,478. And what is that, like Mahjong? Some kind of game like that, I don't know. And usually they do that, and if you win, I imagine the story is going to be advancing. And then this one supports the arcade ROM card. PV, and then Hyper Catalog. Now, I don't know if these are playable demos, but it has Riot Zone and Lords of Thunder. And 748. You know, if you're into collecting demos, that's not too bad of a price. And then Bastille 2. I believe the first one did get a North American release, but no idea if those are any good or not. And then Babel, 1,958. It looks like some kind of role-playing game. And then Jim Power. I'm definitely interested in this version, 14,080 yen. And he has like different sprite work compared to the Mega Drive and Super Famicom versions. I wonder which one is the original. Because he's a blondie in the Super Nintendo version, but in that version. Well, here we have Spike McFang, 14,080. And then Sidearms. Now, Sidearms Special is definitely far, far less expensive. But I hear that, this version is superior. And then Jackie Chan, 15,000. Remember that price. But we have Shuttle, the PC Engine Shuttle. I used to have one of these. I sold it it was just collecting dust. And then we have the Duo RX, 69,000. And that box is beat. Look at that. Now, we're going to keep seeing more RXs and, you'll be surprised. But 32,780 for Royal Pro Wrestling on the 3DO by Natsume. And I looked that game up a few months ago. I don't know where I saw it. I think it was just recommended on my Mercari, and it looks really interesting. 43,780 for the Atari Lynx. I wonder how long that bad boy's been there. We got Grandia HD Collection for 11,000. And then Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 for the Sega Saturn North American version, 9,878. That one's been there for quite some time as well. And then Tempest for the Jaguar. Ninja 5.0 for the GBA, 217,000. I believe that got a Switch release. And I'm curious about R-Type 3 for the GBA. 32,780. I think I can be satisfied with just looking up a video for it. Poor old Tails. But look at this. 1,800 is what they're paying. And they're charging 15,000 for freaking Jackie Chan. That's a crazy difference. I mean, I understand that sometimes they don't pay as much, when you're selling. But come on. 6,000 for the GBA or for the DMG. And these are all junk. Now, this is at the Surugaya outlet. And there was definitely some big changes to this location. Now, I haven't been here in months. But they got rid of the whole, console area. And I was looking through the shop, and all I could see were just, these bins and those mangy DMG Game Boys. We got some wrestling action there for 300 yen. But, yeah, it's kind of a shame they got rid of all those consoles. And this is just like a little mini Sofmap store here. 19,980 there for the Switch. We got a DS Lite for 3,980. A DS for 4,280. And as you can see, it's a tax-free store. And we got the Switch Pro controller at 5,780. 5,000 for a Twin Famicom at Beep. Now, that's the all-time low that I've seen. Before, it was at the book off out in Kobe, but these guys got him beat by about 400 yen. And that thing probably works. You probably just got to change the belt out. So that's not a bad deal. And then we have Dead in the Brain. Apparently this is like the last PC Engine release. 328,000. But I would be careful because PCE works, that could be a reproduction disc. I don't know. Maybe people that are more knowledgeable can tell the difference, but I'd be weary. But we have Kazekiri. Had a little bit of sun damage, 32,800 yen. I do want to play that. Then we got a Duo R for 18,000. No controller though. But you do get the AC adapter. And then they also had another one in the showcase for 39,800 yen. So a significant jump. But you do get all the cables on the controller. We got the Duo for 39,000. And that's my favorite variant of the PC Engine. We got the PS1 and the monitor in the back. And then we got the Pokemon DS. Look at that. It has a beautiful color, but 158,000. But I do like that color. It's pretty suave. What else do we have? We got some SPs at 29,000. Yeah, that's crazy. Now, this is just a soundtrack CD for a bunch of Namco games. Or Namcot, as they were at least known in the console realm. But a nice little selection. We have Galaga 88. And then what else do we have? We got Bomberman 94 for 1,980. That's a really fun game, and I believe it got ported to the Mega Drive. And what else do we have here? Bowl Fave, something like that. This is like a shooter. And then this is this game again with the Duo, Part 3. Something about the Space Princess or something. Now this could be good, I don't know. And then Altered Beast in CD-ROM format. Apparently you need like the original system card in order for this to work properly. And then Princess Maker 2, 1280. Now this one got a re-release on the Switch, and I believe it has like a similar cover. I'm not really familiar with the series, but then we have Daysmon 2, 3,980 for the Sega Saturn. And you can just create your own game and play the base game that they have as reference. We got Burning Rangers, 4,980. And I picked this one up out in Osaka when I was out there, but I popped it in, but I haven't really properly played it. And then we got the old X6800 from Sharp. Beautiful looking image there. And this is like the Mini by Zuiki or Zuki, whatever the heck they're called, X6800. 5,478 for that bundle there, the Konami bundle. And then we got another one coming in at a similar price, Genocider 2. And then the Exact Perfect Collection. Now 12,000 there. So that one's a bit pricey. And we get, but this is a great place, you know, if you're collecting for this kind of stuff, you know, if you can't get it online, definitely hit up Beep. And look at this soundtrack, Sunset Riders, Asterix, and Hexion. 19,800 yen. Beautiful cover. I love Sunset Riders, especially the arcade version. Now the Switch version that was on the Hamsters release is censored, which is a shame. But we got Snatcher, the North American version, 238,000, with the other game being Raiden for the Mega Drive at 12,000. And they also have a bunch of little junk Nintendo handhelds, 4,500 there for the Pocket. We got a DMG. This stuff is in slightly better condition than Surugaya's and a little bit lower price, 4,980. But yeah, they're pretty mangy. But if you're into doing like fixer uppers, you want to fix these up, mod them, great contenders. Look at this one, Vinegar Syndrome on the LCD screen there. And 4,500 yen. Man, that one is pretty rough. And then we have a Hyper Neo Geo 64 Samurai Spirits 2. SNK needs to release an anthology of those games, man. But we got Techromancer for 14,800 yen. This game by Atlas, it's like an isometric shooter beat 'em up type of game. Looks interesting. Something Egg for the old PC Engine, 15,800 yen. And then look at this. Do Dutch Wives Dream of Electric Eels? Adult rated game by Koei. That's such a funny title. And then we got an AV Poker World Gambler. And then a few PC Engine adult titles. But Hyperduel, 67,200 yen. Very expensive, but slightly lower than what I'm used to seeing. Street Fighter 03, 45,000, and this is not even the one that includes like the cardboard box with the RAM cart. That one must be upwards of like 60 by now. And what do we have here? We have Blood Gear, 6,400 yen. My understanding is this one is similar to like Vulcan, but I don't know too much about that title, but pretty cool cover on that one. And then we have Raise Amber, 6,000 for the each. Just a small difference in price, but a little bit sun faded there. And one day I'm going to try that series out. We got Valis 3, 2,200 yen. I paid 1,650. It pays to head out away from the hustle and bustle of Akihabara. 36,600 yen for the Duo. 22,300 for the one that's just console only. And then some more PC Engine titles. Now this one at 13,000, I've seen it before. In fact, I used to see it a lot, but anyhow, we have Koryun for 103,600 yen. Now, this was a nice surprise here. X-Stop Racing for the PS1, 13,100 yen. I do want a copy of that. We got Street Fighter 03 for 9,900 yen. Now, complete in the box, that's going to be upwards of like 25,000 yen. Super expensive. 120,000 for the Duo RX, double the price of old Super Potato. And then the PSX PS DualShock 2 controller, 9,200 yen. I picked one up at a Treasure Factory for far, far less, like 1,000 yen, if that. My goodness. And then this is Retro Game Camp. We're at the Super Graphics there. We got another Duo for 51,000. So the prices seem to be, they keep going up. 42,800 yen there. And then we got the little IPS LCD screen, 12,000. Now, in person, it's a little bit more impressive, but I don't know. Probably not something that I would really get, but here we have Cotton for the PC Engine, 25,000. I do want a copy of that, but super, super pricey. And then we have Dai Makaimura for the Super Graphics, 31,200 yen. I do want that one. And then Demon World, 27,200. I have that for the Switch. It's part of the M2 Zero Fire Switch release. And then we have Bonk 2 there for 8,500. I paid 4,500 for my copy. And Strider for 22,800 yen. And that does require the arcade card. Another copy of Paranoia, 5,980. And then 6,480 for, what was that, Bomberman 94. So Beep had them beat like big time. Big time. But let's see here. Just yeah, it was a pretty good time out here. I'm not gonna lie, despite some of the prices being up there. But in the next episode, we're gonna hit up Trader and a few other shops in Akihabara, as well as I'll head out to Ueno, and we'll check out the Book Off Plus as well as the Hard Off. But here's another copy of Hyperduel for 91,200 yen. But a real good time coming out here, despite the higher prices, because sometimes every now and then you can find like a decent deal, like that Twin Famicom, 5,000, y'all. That was probably the deal of the day. But anyhow, more to come, so stay tuned, and until then, I'll see ya. Ciao.
Southside.